Positioning Strategies, the place where you'll get insights that accelerate your job search and career growth. With Katrina Brittingham, get tips and advice from thought leaders from around the globe that will guide you to the next destination in your career. And now, your host, Katrina Brittingham.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Katrina Brittingham, your navigator on your road to a better career or business. I am here today with a special guest, Eboney Thompson, and I have her bio for you. Eboney D. Thompson is a passionate author, motivational speaker, and transformation life coach. She has self-published 10 of her own books, which have sold across the country. Her collection of work includes poetry, inspirational devotionals, and self-help workbooks for women and youth. Eboney is also the founder and CEO of H&H Life and Visual Development, a coaching business for people who want to regain their power back and live the life and run the business that they have always dreamed of. Eboney also runs an empowerment group called Forever Beautiful. Her goal when working with women is to empower them to see, accept, love, and be the best them inside and out. She leads by example. This October, Eboney will be releasing her 11th book entitled The Hustle Journey. It is about her transparent autobiography of her battle with stage 4 breast cancer. When the workday is done, you can find Eboney enjoying her life with her 4 children and her dog Zoe in Southern California. And so without further ado, let us welcome our guest, Eboney Thompson.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Katrina, so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it greatly.
No, thank you. I've spoken to you, but reading your bio, you are an awesome, accomplished young woman, and I was so honored that you wanted to be a guest on the show and to share your story and your business and your life with us. So I wanted to start with, what is it that you do? Give us a little bit more clarity.
Okay, so I am a life and visual branding coach. And so people's like, oh, my God, what is that? Well, in a nutshell, what I do is I help people dream again. You know, as women, I work with a lot of women. We lose ourselves, you know, being the mom, the wife, the girlfriend, the cook, the chef, the chauffeur, and not co-worker and everything like that we lose our dreams. And so what I do is I help people dream again, but this time with an execution plan and to now actually live out loud. And so I help with mindset, time management, getting things in order, a lot of stuff like that. And then I also help business owners with the visual branding, bringing their business to life so that they can get those clients that they really want to, you know, be who they want to be, you know, as far as their business is concerned, but in a visual way. And so in life and visual branding, it pretty much goes hand in hand because it's basically bringing what you want to do, your dreams, into reality.
Okay, that's awesome. I like you said, as women being those natural caregivers, we lose ourselves in helping other people. And so I love what you do is bring it back so we can do that self-care and take care of ourselves, because if there's no more us, there's going to be no one to be the caregivers for the people that we're caring for.
Exactly.
So I love that. So can you tell us a little bit about the process that you do with helping women to refocus and get that visual development?
Sure. Well, during our first consultation, I don't even really call it a consultation. I usually have 1 to 2 usually, and I call them get to know you sessions because I kind of usually they tell me like, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I work here, I do this, and so what I really do is I intently listen because usually by then they give me trigger points. They'll say some things like, I'm a mom and I have this amount of kids and I never can seem to have, time to myself. And so for me, different words that they say guide me into what I need to do. Usually the first thing, no matter what, we work on mindset. Mindset is a huge thing because if you have it in your mind that you can't do it, the rest of your body isn't going to follow. No matter what, no matter how much your heart may want to do it, no matter how much you actually want to say that you want to do it, if you haven't made it up in your mind, the rest of your body isn't going to follow. So a lot of the things we do, I work with mindset first, and then we kind of trickle down to what we need to work on there. A lot of it is mindset. 97% of it is usually mindset because if I can take the negative stuff that they say and think about themselves and their situation away, basically take away those barriers, then everything else is going to follow.
That is so true. That is so true. And it does. It starts in the mind. You have to know that you can do it. And I think for a lot of us, the first thing is, I can't do it. Because people are looking at the obstacles in front of them. Or they're looking at how big the vision is when they could just as easily, take things step by step and piece by piece. I got this saying some time ago, and I thought it was awesome, that is, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Right. And so if you take that to everything, how do you get to this goal that seems so huge or insurmountable? You take it a step at a time.
Right, exactly.
So I love that, and that's, like you said, is a mindset for people to take things step by step, to take it one step at a time instead of, trying to do the whole vision. Because what it is people try to do the whole vision all at one time. And it's like, take this one little step and then move along. And then you'll see that after a while, and in less time than you think, when you take the smaller pieces, you've eaten the whole elephant.
Exactly. I have a lot of clients when I say, okay, well, I think it'll take about this many sessions. Let's start to, I'm not going to need that many sessions. I'm like, okay. And then we get down to the next, the very last one. They're like, well, maybe I need to add a session or two. How do I go about doing that? Because in the beginning, it's just like, it's a quick fix. And that's a lot of things that I tell people. This is an ongoing process. I'm going to give you the tools that you need to carry on, but you have to practice it every day, not just when we're talking or video chatting or whatever it is. It's an everyday process. You have to be consistent with it. So being consistent with it and doing it as you have to be able to know that it's not an overnight, like you're not going to have success overnight. But to celebrate the small wins, but just know that it's not going to be an overnight thing. But if you consistently do it, you'll be great.
Awesome. And I do apologize for that little station break that came through. I'm trying to get our Facebook stream going, and I actually hit the wrong thing, and I got on somebody else's stream that was streaming, so I apologize for that little station break, listeners, and to our guests. But you're so right, because I have that problem, too, as an executive coach. When I let people know how many sessions we have, they feel like they don't need those sessions, but then in the end, they're thanking me for those sessions, because when you start to deep dive into stuff, and get into the root of the matter, people realize, okay, I needed a little more work than I thought.
Right.
So that's what that is all about. So I wanted to talk a little bit of how did you start your business? How did you come up with the concept? And what were the processes that you took? Because I know you had to take things step by step.
Yes. Well, I've been coaching for probably about 10, 11 years now. But I even had to transform my own mind because I was listening to people as far as, you can't make that into a business. You can't make that into a business. And so I was like, well, it was like my little side thing because I worked for corporate America, and I would just do it on the side. And I was always that listening ear and giving people, advice and different stuff like that. And then I kind of turned it into just a side thing. But it wasn't until, I actually had a dream about it. And I had a dream. I saw myself sitting in an office, and I was like, what is this? And it wasn't until I woke up from that dream that I was like, what you're supposed to be doing is actually a business. So I stepped out on faith, which I do in a lot of things.
Yes.
I stepped out on faith. I got my all my business credentials that I supposed to have. Actually did some coaching, life coaching classes and courses, and got certified. And really just took the journey. I did a lot of research on what it took to become a life coach. Okay, what is it as far as business wise? What do I need? My EIN number, articles of incorporation, and just getting all the fundamentals in order and writing everything down, all the back office stuff, and I tried out different searches and different products and services as far as just getting myself together, because I would never want to introduce anybody and have clients and be halfway. I'm not a person, I believe if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it 100, and that's it, hands down. And right. So, and as far as the name, it came from, I'm known as a hustler. All my friends if you know Ebony, she is going to hustle. She's going to hustle her butt off. And so, I'm always hustling. I'm always doing something. And I'm always very business-minded. And H&H actually stands for Hustle and Heels. Because usually when I'm doing it, I'm in a pair of stilettos. I love stilettos. People would think I was born in them. But I promise I wasn't. And so I took that name and kind of shortened it. Yeah, it's Hustle and Heal. It stands for Hustle and Heal, Life and Visual Development. And I coined that name, and I've been pretty much working ever since.
Awesome. I love the Hustle and Heels.
I am a big heel fan. Oh my gosh, my kids tell me they see me on the website. I hope it's no shoes. If it's shoes, get off of there.
No more shoes.
I don't always listen. I have to hide packages when they hide packages from them because they know Amazon and Shoe Dazzle and all these other places. And I don't own too many pair of flats. That's for sure.
I wish that was my thing. I used to be a heels girl. I promised myself I would get back into them eventually. We'll see. But I love that the fact that you went through your own journey, and you mentioned something about listening to other people. And I tell people that can be the killer of your dream, because your vision is your vision. It's not their vision. So you can't expect people to because you expect people around you to jump on a bandwagon. And I, as a business owner myself, I had to learn that as well, that you can't expect your family and friends to jump on a bandwagon because it's not their vision, and your vision may not be for them. Your vision is to help those that God sends to you and who your avatar is and all of that, going into all of the business stuff, it is to your market. So, when you do that, like, when I left my job, it was like, wait a minute, you went to school for all these years, because as you can see, I have a lot of letters behind my name, and now you're going to leave to do what?
Right. And like you said, people, I listen to other people, and that's a big thing that I find in women. We listen to everybody else, and we allow people to live their lives through us.
Right.
And I can relate a lot, because at one point, that's who I was. I lived in certain places. I worked at certain places. I only went certain places because that's what everybody else wanted me to do, not realizing when I laid down at night, I was not happy. Everybody else was happy and satisfied, but I wasn't. And it wasn't until I did something that I liked and I wanted. It was something that got the most backlash, but I had the most fun, and I was like, oh, this is different. So when I stopped listening to other people, and I start realizing that what God had gave me and what I thought, if people didn't understand and realize that they're not funding it, they didn't tell me to do it, and I much rather be obedient to God than be trying to satisfy people. Because at the end of the day, when I'm crying and when I'm down and when that business needs to go where it needs to go, it's Him that's going to guide me, not people.
Right.
Unless He
exactly.
tells me to. So that's where I went.
Exactly. And so that is something in the mindset when you deal with your clients, is letting them know that their vision is for them. And to not necessarily, and you may get support from your family, don't get me wrong, but not to look for it there, because if you don't get it, then it'll crush your whole spirit, and it'll crush your dream. So you need to look for that team, I will say, because you have your own team, your own network of people that God will send to you to help to encourage you, and to help to move you to your next destination.
Exactly. And another thing is, what I realized too is, just on the journey alone, is that some people can't support you because mentally they're not where they need to be. They're not satisfied with their own lives. They're not, they may not be satisfied with their own lives. They may be stuck, and they could be jealous, or whatever the case may be. So you can't really expect, as much as you would want them to, those that you have around you, it could be that they have their own internal battles that they're fighting. So why would you really want support from someone like that? Because they can't give you everything that you want, because they're not in a space mentally where they can. So that helps, and I tell my clients that too.
Right. Exactly. So I wanted to ask you, can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Yes. I left Kentucky because I just say Kentucky now because today marks 3 years that I've actually lived in California. Today is actually the day I arrived in California. 3 years ago, I was living here. Everything was going good. I was working. I was the company that I was working for. I was doing very well. I was like getting top recruiter, top this, top that. Like, business was soaring, and like I was really putting my all in it. The kids were doing great. Just like everything was going on. And I noticed that just like I would feel off from time to time, but I was just like, oh, it's because I'm working so much, I'm doing too much, because there'd be times where I would come home and just fall out because I was so tired.
Mm-hmm.
And so, not probably really paying attention. And on right after Christmas, I went and I was walking around the house. I was trying to clean up from like the Christmas plunder of everything, toys all over the house, paper still all over the house and everything. And I was just having a hard time breathing. Like, it was just crazy. Like, I could walk 3 feet and be totally out of breath.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew something was really, really wrong. And I'm not big on going to the emergency room or anything like that, but I knew in that moment, because I couldn't even speak, I had to go to the emergency room. So I had to clap to get my kids' attention. And so my oldest daughter called my friend, and she came and got me and took me to the emergency room. Well, of course, it was during, like, cold and flu season. So they thought that it was a really, really, really bad case of, like, pleurisy or the pneumonia. Well, when they did further testing is when they found out what they thought was pleurisy or pneumonia was actually that I had breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So I was diagnosed with breast cancer that actually metastasized to my lungs. So it had spread it over to my lungs. And in that moment, I didn't care about business. Even though I loved my clients, I didn't really care about them. The only thing I could think about was my 4 kids. And doing what I needed to do to be there for them. And so that was the start of my journey. I don't look at the diagnosis, and I call it my situation because I refuse to claim it. I look at it as it didn't happen to me, but it happened for me. And, people are just like, I don't know, because I would be just so upset. But I was like, it put so much stuff into perspective for me. It put life into perspective. That it put life, it put business, it put passion, it put mission of why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? And my slogan for my business is changing the game one stiletto at a time. And it's about putting your mark on the world. But what kind of mark am I leaving is what was played in my mind. What kind of mark am I leaving on my clients? Am I really giving them my all? Am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I really spending the time, the precious time that I have with my kids? And I had to reevaluate myself. I went through a whole physical change, clearly, because I had to go through chemo, and I'm still going through chemo. But, like, mentally, I had to change. Physically, I had to look at myself and accept myself inside and out. And that's something that, just looking at, I realized I didn't. I looked fine. I felt like I looked fine on the outside, but I was very, very insecure even then. And so this whole journey has made me a better mom, I'd say. It's definitely made me a stronger person in my faith walk. And I feel like it's made me a better coach because now I'm coming from a whole different mindset, a whole totally different perspective on what I see in people and how to come across to them and know that everybody has a story. Just like yours may not be cancer, but everybody is going through something that they need, that they could feel what I'm going through. And I just want to let people know that you can overcome, you can get through, and you can do what you have been called to do on this earth. And so that started helping me as far as, like, when I tell people they can dream again and this time they can execute, because I firmly believe it. Because I'm actually living out what I dreamed about and what I'm doing now. I know it's a God mandate, and it's not only just to bring people into my story and tell that, but it's to help others and to bring more awareness to breast cancer awareness and people under the age of 40 that get it that you very rarely hear about. And so my story has definitely changed. My life has definitely changed. But I look at it as it changed for the better instead of the worse. Now, granted, I still go through my moments where I cry because I'm only human. But, you know, I have a newfound appreciation for life and what I'm supposed to do here on Earth. And in my
That's
business.
awesome. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Your story is very inspirational to me because, you know, you could have folded up into a little ball and be like, oh, woe is me. But you pressed on and you believe, you know, in the purpose that God has given you. And so that was such an inspiration to me. This because you have obstacles. And so I do talk to people about how you get back on your feet when life happens to you, when disaster strikes, when, you know, your life gets turned upside down, when you have a personal setback, you know, that you can still get up and do. You know, I can relate to going on about your business and same thing. I had like breathing problems, and then I was like dizzy and felt like I was going to pass out. I had lost my vision and everything, and I go to the hospital. One day I'm fine, and the next day I'm in critical care. Never had been inpatient or anything, and I go from that to go into the ER to be in critical care, and I'm telling you they didn't know if I was going to survive the night.
Wow.
And so I was like, oh, okay. But I was just like, you know, I was like, God, if this is my time, it's my time. But if not, I'm going to bring some people who have faith. Because I talked to some people that say, oh my gosh, you have that. I had to move those people out of the room. I had to move those people off the phone, get them off the phone real quick, and have people who had faith that could pray me through the situation. They told me, they was like, oh, we just can't balance out your body chemistry. We don't know what's going on. And, you know, I walked out of there, and God has been healing me ever since. You know, still have some things, but he's been healing me ever since. And most days I don't even think about, you know, my illness. You know, I had to pick my business back up because I lost 2 major contracts while I was in the, you know, in the inpatient, because I didn't know, because they were like, well, when are you going to get out? I have no idea. They told me that they're going to try this treatment, and they're crossing their fingers to see if it works because I was so far gone. But
they
just
told me today to something like that. I actually heard the doctor that was in my emergency room doctor that actually did the initial diagnosis, because I had to go in today. I went in today because I was having some issues with a wound that I have to change. And the doctor who came and see me today was actually the doctor that initially diagnosed me. And he told me today, he was like, I'm telling you right now, I didn't think you were going to make it out of the hospital. That's how bad you were. And I was like, what? Like, that was the first time I had heard that. Like, I knew they were telling me, like, you're bad off. But I didn't realize it, but my faith in God was way better, you know, further off than what they were telling me. But yeah, people were like, oh, well, and then my phone was going off. People didn't even know I was in the hospital, but they were asking me to do stuff. And I was like, if only you knew.
Right. And you have to push past that stuff. And meet your dreams. And so I tell people, I said, if I can come back, and because when I mean these were major contracts, these were contracts that were running my business. And having my business, be able to thrive and be self-sufficient on its own. And I went from that to going back out, and at the time I was working the job full-time and my business full-time, and I went from having that income to not having it. So then I had to take my personal income to run the business and to build the business back up. And I have been able to, so that lets me know that you can do it. Because I said, God, you gave this to me. I can't just lose everything. Like, once you start growing the business, you invest so much in it. And I was just like, I cannot lose this business just because of this.
Right.
And so also it let me know, too, even though I had been going back and forth to the doctor for some time trying to figure out what was going on, I started doing a little more self-care. Because like you said, what we tend to do is we run ourselves down through the ringer. Because when you work a business full-time and then a regular job full-time, that's a lot. And then that was on top of, doing what I had to do for me and family obligations and things like that. And so I had to learn the magic word no. No matter who got offended. No matter who got offended, running back and forth to people's events. And on top of that, I'm a minister. I've been a licensed minister for like 20 years. And so I had those obligations on top of that. And so I had to, number one, I learned who was for me, because you find out who's for you when you have to stop doing for people, and then now you're the one that's in the need. And so God, yes, He definitely showed me that, and He showed me who my network was, and He even brought in new network who would help me, and be there for me. So it's a journey, but you can get back from that setback. You can keep pressing on and doing what He wants you to do. And I find when you're doing what He wants you to do, then He will give you energy you didn't think you had.
That's
and
sure. Yeah, I was seeing how I was telling a friend of mine. She's like, "Oh my God, I see you up at like 4:30 your time," and I was like, "Yeah, I do be up," but I find it so much more satisfying that to get up and shower and do what I need to do and get into doing my business full time. Like, I find so much enjoyment out of it than what I was doing before. And I was like, I know that this is the strength of God, and I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Because, they always say, when you do what you love, it's not work. And I finally feel like I'm not working. Like, I could be doing it all day, and people are like, oh, my God, give yourself a break. I could work from 4:30 in the morning until whenever I shut my eyes at night and be so rejuvenated and fine, but it doesn't feel like work. I'm just like, it just feels so good to be doing it. And I'm like, I'm finally in a place where I know that's what I'm supposed to be doing because it doesn't feel like work.
Right. Exactly. And I'm going to have to take a little station break. We're a little bit over for our little break, but I am going to talk about my sponsor, and then we're going to run our commercial that we normally run, and then we will be back. So we'll be back in about a minute. And so I just wanted to talk about our sponsor, Concrete Roses, and they have awesome pens. I am a pen girl. I love pens, and I love good pens that write smoothly because I just think that my handwriting is the bee's knees. And as a writer, naturally, I just love pens, and I love the act of writing. And I love the way they package their items. They brand very well. Their package comes in a package of pink roses, and they give you a nice package with your stuff wrapped up in bubble wrap with a nice heart-shaped thank you, and I will actually be on live to show you the package. I just received my new order today. I was like, oh, it's right on time. Of course, when I have the show, it comes right on the time that I have the show. The new one came in this wonderful box, and I'm going to show you that and how those pens write. But just to let you know that our link to get those pens, if you are a pen girl or guy like me, you can click on the link that is in our post for the show on Facebook, on my personal page, facebook.com/Katrina Brittingham, and you would click on the link, bit.do concrete roses, and if you use the code that I have in there, you will get 10% off of your order. And that code is KATRINBRITTING. So go on the link, click the link, get your discount, get your pens. The pens are for the type of pens they are very inexpensive. I have ordered pens that did not look as good or write as good that was so much more expensive, but this is nice. It's a nice pen, so I would say definitely go out and get your pens. You will not be disappointed. And now we're going to have our regular advertisement and commercial that will be played now.
Award-winning resume writing or career coaching service to help build your professional brand and help you get hired faster? Then you need VentureReady.net. Let the professional staff guide you step by step to land you your perfect dream job. Why go anyplace else? We've helped many people just like you develop a strategy to help you succeed. That's VentureReady.net. Let us convince you by calling 1-888-712-4956. That's VentureReady.net. The complete package for any career path you take.
All right, that was our sponsor, VentureReady LLC, who sponsors the entire program. So if you need help in your career, if you need executive coaching, career coaching, resume writing, and the like, please contact VentureReady LLC, and they will help you get where you need to be. And we are back, and I did hear that you looked at the pens.
Yes, I'm over here. I'm like, oh, God, I love these pens. I love pens. I am a pen girl like you. Oh, my gosh. I love pretty pens. They are beautiful.
All right. Look, so click the link. Get your 10% off.
For sure, for sure. Oh, my goodness.
I love them. And if you come on to the live that I'll have right after, you'll get to see the pens that I got, and I will even show the first pen that I received from them. It's just awesome. Their branding is just phenomenal. I can't say, too much about their branding, because their branding, to me, is awesome, and it really fits what they're doing. So I'm going to get off of that because we're talking about Eboney and her business, and bring myself in to come back on to topic. And we were talking about your story and how you came, into a new mindset and having your network come in. So what did you do? Because, the question says, how do you keep going when things do not seem to go according to what you may have planned? And I know the story you told me did not go as you planned.
No, it did not go through his plan at all. One thing that keeps me grounded is, granted, prayer. My kids. But I do a lot of affirmations and vision writing and boarding. So I have a board in my room. It's a regular white board that you can get from Target or any store. And like I have like my business stuff on there, but I have my affirmations on there. So I got this on there. I'm healed. I'm Wonder Woman.
There you go.
I'm an overcomer. I'm a millionaire. I'm the first millionaire in my family. Like, so I have those on there, and it's right by my bed. And I don't have a little board. I have the big board. And I keep stuff like that on my phone, too. And I made a virtual vision board. And so I have it on my phone, and anytime, like, a thought comes in or something that is not lined up, or I go to the doctor or something, and he might not say something that I want to hear, what I do is I pull that up, I pull the vision board up, I pull those words up, and I say them to myself. And I say that all the time, and I have my favorite scriptures that always stay in my heart. One is Romans 8:28, and another is I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. So, and then, of course, like Romans 8:28 is all things work for the good of those who love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. So I know that even though what may seem bad, God's going to flip it and turn it around for my good. And as long as I lean on him or whatever, I know he's going to strengthen me. He's going to give me the ability to keep going. And that's the mindset that I have adopted, that granted, things may not be the way I want them to be right now, but I know as long as I keep going, because the thing is, like, a negative mindset is not going to help my situation. And that's with anybody. Thinking negatively or having negative people around you, it's not going to help the situation. If anything, it's going to make it worse.
Right.
So why not feel good in the moment or keep feeling good? Yeah, it may not be how you want it or whatever, but keep going. Stay focused. And so for me, that's what has kept me focused, is a positive mindset. I don't hang with people who talk negative. I don't talk to people who talk negative. If people try to call and bombard me with their day or whatever, I have no problem now with saying, no, sorry, I don't want to hear it. I have to go. Because I don't want it and I don't need it. Because and so that has helped me. I have it on my phone. I have it by my bed. I have it in my bathroom, on my refrigerator, like common places where I'm constantly going. So no matter where I am, it's always a reminder that no matter what, it's going to get better. It's got to get better.
Right. Exactly. I like two things, and this was before the commercial, and I was trying to think of it. When you said, this did not happen to me, it happened for me. I love that. I love that mindset, because like you said, all things work together for the good. That's my new mantra. I've been thinking about that ever since I heard you say it the first time, which was before this show, when we were talking before, and I was like, yes, this did not happen to me, it happened for me, because the things that happen to us, you have two options. You have the fold up and just let it happen to you, or you have it like, okay, this happened for a reason, and this is to take me to the next step in my journey. And like when you think about where you are now and where you were before, the things, the good and the bad, worked to make you the person that you are. It worked to get you to where you are. It helped you to have the lessons that you had that will come and help other people. That will encourage other people. So I love that saying. That's going to be one of my affirmations, that I'm going to have up, because I do have my own. I don't actually post mine up, which I probably think is a mistake, but I do write them down in the book, and I do go through the book, and I just have some in my mind that I just quote to myself during the day, but I like having that in front of you, where you have them in front of you in a place where you know you're going to look every day and recite those affirmations, because they do make a big difference in changing your mindset. So I love that. Love that.
Help. I even told people, because people are like, oh my God, how could you ever just sit there and you went all the way to California because I'm the only one here. I have no family here. It's just me and my kids.
Right.
And I tell people part of it was the vision board and affirmations.
Right.
I had put on a vision board and I kept it in my room because I worked at home, so I had a at-home office at my house, and I kept that vision board in front of me. It was set behind my computers, and I had it high, and on there it said moving 3,000 miles to California. And I woke up, and I would see it for 8, 10 hours, 12 hours, and I would sit there at my computer. I would sit there, and I would visualize myself sitting on the beach. I would visualize myself going through driving through the streets of California. Like, I visualized that. And now, today, I'm celebrating 3 years being here. So I always kept that in front of me, and I always say, I'm going, and I would talk, and I would speak. And that was another thing. When you change your mindset, your words also change.
Yes.
So it went from, I wish I lived in California, to I would start talking like I already live there. I'm like, so, when I go to California, when I live there, when I move there, this is what I'm going to do, and this and this and this. And me and my best friend would, I'd be like, what we're going to do is we're going to sit out, and we're going to be sitting outside, and we're going to be having lunch outside. And then, because she moved here for a little bit with me, and for a little while, and she's moved. She's in Vegas now. But like one day, we were sitting outside of Starbucks, having lunch, and we had our shades on. And I was like, "Do you remember when we were sitting in my office, and we were talking about one day we were going to be sitting outside, and it was going to be sunny outside, and we were going to be having lunch outside on the patio?" And all of that because I was speaking it. I spoke it as if I was already living it, but it was already in my mind. I could see it. I could feel it in my bones. So that's what came out of my mouth. And so a lot of what, not only just our mindset, we have to watch what we speak, because you can speak yourself into a great life or just all out just a bad life. And even in your business, I'm not going to get any clients, or my clients are going to be like this. No, speak out what you want your clients to be. So when I did my target audience, I spoke, this is what I want. This is what they should look like. This is what they should obtain. All of this, I start speaking it, and guess what? That's what started coming to me. Right. So we have to watch how we self-talk, because we can destroy our own selves and our futures just by the way we talk to ourselves. And even to our businesses, we have to watch how we speak about our businesses. Watch how we speak about our clients. We have to be mindful of how we think and what we say, because they manifest themselves. Words have power, whether it's mental or whether it's verbal. And a lot of people don't realize that they have more power over their lives than what they really think.
Right, exactly. You are exactly right. And, I found that for myself when I was like, I am going to get up from where I was, and I'm going to make it. And that's what I said when I was in hospital. I said, I'm going to live and not die. I was like, I have too much that I was supposed to be doing for God at the time. And even coming into this year, I was like, okay, my business is going to go to the next level. And I just kept speaking it, even when I didn't say. I said, well, you know what? God, you said you would do these things for me. And I see those things starting to manifest into my life, And so the mentality, the energy that you give off, the mentality that you give off, like people can feel that, and it'll either detract people or attract them. And it's like, so you have to look in your life to find out, who are you attracting? And if you're attracting negative people all the time, then maybe it's time to do a self-check.
Exactly.
And I did, and I started weeding out the negative people and the negative talkers, and the ones that were speaking positive, I brought them right on in, even more so. And I noticed that the ones that were speaking positive kind of held back a little bit, because I found myself, when I was around negative people, I started talking negative. And so those positive people started kind of moving away a little bit. And then it's like when I started speaking positive, then the positive people started coming, and then the negative people just fall off anyway, because the saying is so true that misery loves company.
Oh, yes, yes, they do. Oh my goodness, that is huge.
Yes.
And they can't stand positivity. And
right.
So, like, even when I talk about, even like in the book and just in general, how when I told people, because at first I was just like, I'm going to keep this to myself. I'm just going to tell my immediate family because I don't want to hear the negativity. I just didn't. And when I came out with it, oh my gosh, I had people putting me in the ground before I even left the hospital. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened to you. And like, they were literally, like, I could feel them through, like, Facebook and, like, calls. Like, it got to the point where I put the phone down. I wouldn't answer certain people's calls or anything like that. Because they were literally, and even then, people don't realize that, like, even some of the things that they would say, like, I guess they really thought it meant well, but I could feel that you saw me dead. Like, they were already putting me in the ground. And so people like that, I stayed away from them. I didn't, and I was like, thanks but no thanks, pretty much stay away. Because in my eyes, I'm healed. God told me I am healed. By his stripes I am healed. So guess what? I'm going to walk in my healing. Now, granted, I got to go through the process of it, but guess what? I'm already healed. So if I'm already healed, I don't need you talking and speaking death over me. Right. So I just left people alone and would not just, I've learned that, and even my doctor told me, whatever you do, keep negative people away from you. Right. And I took heed of that. And I even tell people, like my clients, whether it's in their business or life, you can't tell everybody everything. Right. Because they're not going to understand it. And just be mindful of those people that you have around you. And if they don't mean you any well, you might just want to, like, separate yourself from them. Because you don't need anybody else speaking that mess over your life. Right. Exactly. You're already going through some things, and you don't need someone else coming in to add fuel to the doubts that you already have flowing around in your mind. Because with everything you have your good days and you have your bad days. And so you definitely don't want them when you're having your bad days, but you also don't want them when you're having your good days, because then they'll come and bring you down. Extra down. Like, you really don't need that. We are almost at the top of the hour already. It is 8:53. So I wanted to have you touch on your book that's coming out in October, and also to tell the people how they can contact with you. It is on the Facebook page on the announcement for the show. Since we're having issues with Facebook, it will be replayed. But I definitely want you to give more information on that. Okay. Well, I want to definitely say thank you again, because this was fun. But as for my book, yes, the book is called The Hustle Journey. And it is the journey that I've had to endure as I'm going through the process of dealing with breast cancer. I talk about the physical, the mental, the financial, like every aspect of it, the good, the bad, the ugly of it. And it's just really just to, I don't want people to look at it as a woe is me type deal. I want people to find encouragement through it, find some inspiration to know that even, like I said, even if their personal thing isn't cancer, it may be some obstacle getting in their way from them living their best life. But you can overcome that. You can get through it. You can make it through. And and really live your life. And so, like I said, it's called The Hustle Journey. It's coming out October. It releases October the 15th. You can buy it now, pre-order it now, but it will be available on Amazon. If people want to follow me and on the journey of it, they can go to my Instagram, which is Ms. MZ Hustle and Heels 15 on Instagram, and then I have an actual business page on Facebook. It's called Hustle and Heels. So
Awesome.
I'm very active on social media. So if they inbox me, DM me, follow me, whatever, I definitely will respond. And, yeah, I just love to get to know people. And it's just really about bringing awareness to people, to, you know, not only just breast cancer in general, but just life.
Yeah.
Life. You know, whether it's you living your best life or you're doing and you're dreaming big about your business. Just, you know, I do a weekly tip, and it's called H&H Life Tip of the Week. And this week it was called You've Survived It. Now
Yes.
live it.
Yes.
You know, we get so caught up in survivor. Oh, I got to survive. You survived a lot. Now it's time to live. Like, live your life. Live your life. Stop. Sometimes we have to get out of survival mode, and realize that we've accomplished a lot. You've made it through a lot. Now, honey, stop. Now it's time to live. Live, because when you're on survival mode, you're always on edge. It's time to let down your hair and live your life to the fullest.
Yes.
And so that's one of the things I talked about this week, and I post that every week, every Monday. And it's just a quick little video about and giving people tips. And like I said, you survived it, now live. And I'm all about living life, not existing, but living your life to the fullest.
Yes. Yes.
So, but like I said, they can follow me on Instagram. They can follow me on Facebook, or just whatever. But yeah, the book comes out October 15th, and they can purchase it on Amazon. And the pre-orders, I do have. It is on pre-ordered right now. If they pre-order it right now, it is $25. But that is also including shipping and handling and everything else. And so, and that's available on, the link is on my Facebook and Instagram, or they can direct message me and I can give it to them.
Awesome. That's awesome. I also wanted to mention, and we're going to have to wrap it up, but you are a speaker for the
Yes.
Black Women Promote Virtual Summit, Success Summit.
I'm so excited. If people have not gotten their tickets about this event, first off, where can you find 24 powerhouse women who have come from all different backgrounds that is going to launch your business to, like, beyond the next level? I would say they're not even going to take you to the next level. They're going to take you to the level above that. But where can you find 24 powerhouse women for $24? You can Starbucks, that's a little bit more than, if you go to Starbucks twice a day, that's 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or a lunch, whatever it is. But I'm telling everybody, get your tickets, because this is going to not only change your business, but it is going to change your life. I mean, you can't go see Oprah or anybody and get this advice that you're going to get from these powerhouses.
Yes.
And so I'm advising everybody to get their tickets, because it's gonna be life changing, and I'm so excited. I have it blocked out in my calendar. I've colored it because I'm a big organizer. I have colored in orange. Like, I have it blocked out. I am ready. I went and purposely bought a notebook just for it, so I can take all my notes.
I apologize for cutting you off, but I got the 3-second warning. So
okay.
We have to go. I thank my guests for coming on, and I thank my listeners for listening. I will see you next week.
Thank you for tuning in to Career GPS. Join us next Wednesday for more insights from career experts and thought leaders from around the globe who will help you reach the next destination in your career. To be a guest on the show, contact us at info@ventureready.net or call us at 888-712-4956.